It is another edition of Mile High Hockey. Mike Evans, Will Peterson with you as always. And Mike, what is going on with the Avalanche's injuries? We sit here in the middle of January. This is a theme of the season. Let's reset where we're at. Valeri Nichushkin, supposed to be out day to day, 7 or 10 days, got hurt on New Year's Eve. We sit here on January 14th, not going to play tonight against the Rangers. Miles Wood is still out. Sam Girard is still out. The mystery of Gabriel Landeskog continues. Jonathan Drouin finally back in. Arturi Lehkonen missed time. The list goes on and on, Mike. I'm just curious, sort of philosophical, big picture, why can't the Avalanche get healthy, and how is it affecting their season, both mentally and physically?
It's tough, right? I mean, there's such a feeling of let's get whole. We get a guy back, and then we lose a guy, right? It's just the rolling the rock up the hill, only to have it to come screeching back down the hill on top of you. So it's something that. But, you wonder, okay, are they doing something wrong with their training? Are they doing something wrong with their conditioning? You've seen, you and I were talking about this before. You brought up a great point about how, the Broncos have made a real commitment over these last couple of years, and they've really been able to avoid the injury bug. But I don't know. I'm still of the belief that so much of this stuff is random, and I don't know if you can really. I think every team tries their best to go out and avoid injuries, but I think when you talk about hockey and the physicality of it, sometimes I think you're just playing under a cloud, under a bad sign, and the injuries just pile up. It's something that has been the story of the season. You just got to hope that everybody's is going to be able to come back by the time it matters most.
Yeah, I get it, but football is physical too. And the Broncos, as you mentioned, made that change a couple of years ago. They were the worst, most beat-up team in the NFL in 2022 under Nathaniel Hackett. Mm-hmm. They've been very healthy the last couple of years under Sean Payton, to the point where their injury report going into a playoff game is a whole bunch of nothing. I don't like calling for people's jobs, but if I'm Chris McFarland, I'm Joe Sakic, I'm sort of looking around going, guys, how are we doing strength and conditioning? Mm-hmm. Is this something where a change needs to be made? Because as our friend from the Denver Post pointed out yesterday, there was 8 guys at practice who weren't available in the Winnipeg game, and he said that's just not normal. It's not normal, Mike. And another frustration is Valeri Nichushkin was day to day. Well, now it's week to week. Now Bednar says yesterday he's still got a ways to go. He's still in a red jersey. It's not Jared Bednar's fault, but the secrecy around hockey injuries is frankly unfair to the fans and kind of archaic and silly.
It is. And it's the injuries like the one to Val and the one to Jonathan Drouin that I think that maybe makes your point a little bit more, right? It's, if somebody's just hurt and it's like, hey, you're out 4 to 8 weeks, and it's just
Miles Wood, for example.
And it's just it's a injury, right? Then there's nothing you can really do about that. But sometimes with these injuries, you wonder, if it's day to day, week to week, what is going on then when it comes to the conditioning, the strength, the conditioning, the training, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, Mike, the other mystery to this is Gabriel Landeskog, because we're seeing from morning skate this morning before the Avalanche play the Rangers that he is skating. And there's a lot going on with Gabe, because there was a report from a national media member that Gabriel Landeskog couldn't skate back-to-back days because of the swelling in his knee. Well, Jared Bednar got asked about that yesterday at Family Sports, flat out denied it, said not true. But just another wrinkle to this Landeskog. I'm going to call it a saga at this point. Wait, he can't skate back-to-back days? And why is someone putting that out there unless they're hearing it? Of course, the team's going to deny it. He's skating this morning before the Avs play the Rangers. He's certainly not playing. There's still no timeline. Bednar made it clear. But, oh my gosh, this gets more intriguing by the day.
Really? Intriguing's the word you're going to use?
Well, with this report, and now Bednar having it felt like for the first time in a long time there was actually some news around Landeskog.
Here's the thing, and we're talking about Gabe, all right? So let me look right into this camera, okay? I love Gabe Landeskog. I desperately would like to see him be able to resume his career. But at this stage of the season, I'm done with it. I'm over this story. He's not going to come back and play this year. I have zero expectations for him to come back this year. All this talk about will he, won't he, can he, can't he? Did you see what he did on the ice? Can he skate back-to-back days? To me, it's just at this point of the season. Early on, I was engaged. I really was. At this point, I I truly, when I hear about it, I tune it out, Will. I'm just being honest with you because I know deep in my heart here, nothing's going to happen this year. Nothing. And this is going to be a saga that, goes on into the summer. And who knows? Here's the only real important point I want to make about what's going on with Gabe. Does his contract and does his future with the team, is it playing any kind of a role whatsoever in a Mikko Rantanen deal getting done? Because if there's anything about Gabe's contract and the idea that, we want to do right by Gabe and we don't want to just buy Gabe out, that is potentially an impediment to a Mikko Rantanen deal getting done, then that would be awful. That'd be awful if that's what's happening. I hope that's not. But as far as Gabe and will he or won't he, at this point, I tune it out.
Okay,
I just do.
I get it, but you said a lot there. So let's
okay,
unpack
go ahead,
it.
Yeah.
First of all, you said you're done. You're done with Gabriel Landeskog.
Yep.
Mike, he told us mid-September to April. It's the middle of January.
It's not going to happen.
But his timeline that he gave us when I sat there 6 feet away from him in Family Sports Center was mid-September to April.
Right.
We're still in that window. I can't be done on this guy when he wears the C. He's the leader. He can be a big body on the power play, and he can play on the fourth line 8 to 10 minutes a night. I'm not expecting him to be the Gabe of old, but I do think Gabe Landeskog on the fourth line in the playoffs is not something I'm willing to rule out at this point.
But, Will, until I see him out there going through a full hockey practice, it is full on, hey, listen, we're trying to get Gabe ready to go. We are doing a full go scrimmage. We're out there and we're tossing lines out and we are going full bore. Until I see him do that and see how he recovers from that and see him out there being able to prepare to be playing, I just wake me up when that happens. I'm sorry. I've been seeing the same thing for months now. I got to see something different.
Well, and the other wrinkle that you brought up is the Mikko Rantanen extension. Is Gabriel Landeskog's contract sort of impeding Mikko getting a deal done? And Mikko, he's like the nicest guy in that locker room, Mike. He never says no to an interview. He's always smiling. Doesn't want to talk about his contract. But I do think it's funny. I'm not saying $500,000 isn't a lot of money, okay? It's a lot of money. But if the Avs are truly at, 8 years, 12 and a half, and Mikko's camp wants 8 years, 13, hasn't it been such a journey here in Colorado that it would surprise you if the Mikko Rantanen walked over $500,000 a year, and it is that $500,000 getting squeezed because of the cap gymnastics, the LTIR, all that stuff they're having to do with Landeskog?
I would love to think that he would look at something like that and say, absolutely, I'm going to give you the hometown discount. $500,000, right?
Again, it's a ton of money, but not when you're making $12.5 million.
No, but then you got other factors. Is the players' union getting involved?
Right.
Is the players' union saying, Mikko, you got to hold out for every last dollar because if you get to this level, it's just going to help move everybody else's number up as well. And so you owe it to your players, your fellow players out there in the NHL, to get the best deal possible. No hometown discounts. Because wouldn't you think if there were no other mitigating factors, you think really Mikko's going to be, busting the Avs hump over $500,000?
I don't. And I would have thought this was done last summer. I would have thought it was done right before the season. Would have thought it was done in the season. We heard the reports they didn't want to negotiate during the season, and that trade deadline creeps closer. All right, Mike, there has been some hockey played recently, and there will be hockey tonight. Avs and Jets over the weekend. Connor Hellebuck, for whatever reason, he's got their number in the regular season. Another shutout. That was a 4-point swing game in the Central Division. That one was a bummer for the Avs to lose before they come back home for this long homestand.
But nice 5-game homestand. They get the Rangers, the most underachieving team in the NHL this year. And I'll circle back to Val Nichushkin. Man, is it amazing to you? With Val in the lineup, this is a team that plays close to 700 hockey.
Yep.
Without him, they're a 500 hockey team. And since he went out on after New Year's Eve, 3-2-1. Basically the definition of mediocrity, 500 hockey since he's been out.
It's crazy.
It's amazing.
And again, it's how we started the podcast. Like they said he was day to day. Well, it's turned into week to week. Hopefully he plays at some point during this 5-game homestand. Yeah. I think the best news we can pass along is Valeri Nichushkin has been spotted every single day at practice. That quells a lot of fears. It's not anything else going on. It is simply a hockey injury. We wish him the best and hope he's back soon. Mike and I will be back on Thursday to talk about Avs Rangers, preview more of the homestand, and we will see you then.